Hello and welcome to the Azurine Sketch Break Experience. I am your willing host, Azura. So, welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, everybody. Today we have 3 parts. Let's do this. No, I already said that. Yeah, we already said it. Let's go! February 25th, 9:42 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. This is the defendant lobby, alright, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Ema, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Oh, it's Edgeworth. Edgeworth! Knowing you've already figured it out. Who's the owner of the 77777 ID card number, that is? Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding the ID record. If the number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from the list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right? And Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you had to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth. Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? See you in court, Edgeworth. This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Grant has on her, it's now. What the hell is happening outside? February 25th, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 9. What the hell is happening outside? 1 second. Seems to have passed. Anyway, court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Grant. Die. Okay. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Uji. Been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my word. That's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, what exactly is this proposal of yours? I know what I want to eat. Lana, that is to say, the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. Oh no. What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confessed all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No. Lana! You can't! Your Honor, the defense claim does not change the defense plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. Fuck! But Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. God damn it! The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has significantly proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the rights to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there is no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This can't be happening! Ain't no way this is the first time Phoenix gets a guilty verdict on one of his clients. It appears the time for this verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... Edgeworth? Yeah! One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Oh yeah, it would be beyond a reasonable doubt because of how cases like this work. This isn't... okay. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Grant. What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh? To whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Sky. I request the court hears her testimony. Hold it. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Sky. Oh, shit. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Grant? Worthy. You'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Sky, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. What are we supposed to do? We're no longer the defense! Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Sky. My occupation, I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a forensic investigator. You're also a high school student. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Darkey of the Joe Darkey killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please... Please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? It is when this is so connected. Yes, it most certainly is. How are we supposed to do anything? Well, okay then. He sure gave in fast. For there's so much sun coming in through the blinds. Now, please testify what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. How are we supposed to do anything? 2 years ago, I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? It will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Right? It's just like, damn. I gotta admire you taking this into your own hands. Sorry, I had to clean my glasses. There's dust all over them. Actually, but that might not be dust. Which is worse. Okay. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I'm not the defense anymore. What? I'm not sure I've seen, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instance. You want to expand on that? Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Darky, then just... the lights went out. The lights? It was just about the time of... It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and the lightning struck nearby. So the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. Go ahead, tell me a little more. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw. Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? This picture the witness drew, I believe it has very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost. I just realized that we never actually checked what the evidence list ourselves, although I don't know if we'll actually be able to see what's on it. Nope. You would think, but nah. Alright. We'll just show it then. I bet the picture is on it. Mr. Edgeworth, this little girl put up all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold, this is the evidence list for the SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over? Turn it... Ah! What's this? Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew. Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists, they're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see marks here where they were torn apart from each other. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you. What? What? Order? Order? But, Miss Skye, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor? Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. If this evidence list was torn in half, then there must be more of the drawing in the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yes, it's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Sorry, Your Honor. There's indeed something drawn on the back of my list. Isn't... It's... Past your hate for the song. It's fine. That thing. That terrible, horrible thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism. The work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. My God. Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, sure, Your Honor. What's wrong with Eva? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. This is a picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Oh my God, stop uploading things! I keep getting notifications, sorry. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Dojaki about to murder Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Ima's picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. Flashlighting was so bright all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in this instant. like the autopsy. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? Oh shit. Weapon. Contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife in the man's holding. If you look closely, you can see its broken tip. Even though I don't have to look that closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? The tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Darkey was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Ema. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? If this is before he's stabbed, but the knife is already broken, how did the broken piece end up in the body? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right. But what does this mean? Bro, the tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is that the witness' memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Wrong. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There's another explanation. Have you forgotten already about the little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Order, order, order. Are you saying the investigation was really corrupted? In your honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King Prosecutor's word at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Darkey along with Damon Grant. During his questioning, Joe Darkey fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Darkey. It is my belief that somewhere in the story, there's a lie. No. I'm not lying. The man really was holding a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Darkey's. The halberd on the shield, on the trophy. Could there have been one? There's another one. The witness is adamant adamant about the accusatory accuracy of what she saw. Jesus. It can't just, can I get 3 more videos out of myself today? Can I do this? We're gonna try. It can't just be explained away by simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume, then, that you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. Da-da-da. Nope, not that. This. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here, inside this picture. This picture is of Warts. This is a picture of the Warts. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award prosecutor Marshall is holding. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the knife in the drawing was not Joe Darkey's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order, order, order. Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. I'm going to eat after this. After an award, he was given the broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Darkey, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutor award was the murder weapon, then the murder and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising the knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh! But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth? What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back? I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. Oh, you can actually see that it was torn in half. I didn't notice that. That's cool. Stop playing the song. Stop. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part of the deep away inside me. Thank you. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness testimony. Would you please tell us what you've recalled, Miss Skye? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger? This should be interesting. Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and I rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. And then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw a shadow. This is certainly most unusual. Yes, objection indeed. Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until last year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Hold it. Stop, please. Don't pursue this any further. Lana. What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Hold on, she's not being held in contempt of court? Okay. Oh, no she is. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. It seems we're finally getting to the core of this matter. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed to the room. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning. That's when I saw the blue badger. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this. But that's what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? I gotta show them. The correct angle to look at this room. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I gotta make it look more. What? Allow me to remind the defense case I know the list around. Let's get a message to the job we can have. What? We gotta find the right angle. Maybe it's Roche. No. Come on, Mr. Wright, you can do this. That was wrong? What the heck? Nope. Jesus Christ. I hit the wrong button. Give me a break. This is worse than the fucking tape thing. Yes, baby? 1 second. Just looking up the picture real quick. Hypothetically, that's right. Damn it. Okay. Alright. I hope. Let's stop making me do this. Thank you! Well, is this a miracle or what? My cat just came in. No one could possibly deny that this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. No. It can't be. Sorry. Ugh. Order. Order. The defense has no. Off the desk. Sorry. Cat. He's very persistent for my attention. The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger, witnessed on the day of the crime, was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So the Badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. What? We have more evidence? You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then. Please tell us. What's different now that we know? The location. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, might I add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in the picture taken the day of the crime. On the shelf in the office of Damon Grant. The body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes. And it's these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Grant's office. Are you implying that the murderer removed the victim's body from Damon Grant's office to Lana Sky's office? It's just across the room. Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Okay. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. Have you? Because I haven't. So this is why Lana's tried to stop the trial. Oh no. Oh no. It's too late to quit now, though. What are we about to reveal? Please recall the witness's testimony. She said that she knocked away the man who was holding the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to have been the impact the man made when he knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, may I draw your attention to this picture once more? Oh no! The man was knocked into the direction the shelf of the jar was sitting on. What would he have hit? The suit of armor holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword. Yes. Since the man was knocked into the armor carrying a broken knife, he would have had been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No. Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There's another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Are we about to accuse of... Oh, no. Like, obviously it was an accident. But, oh, another possible... That's why she's so cold. 'Cause her sister killed somebody. Oh, no. That's the worst. Of course, the perpetrator would have no idea, but nevertheless, don't say it. I don't know if I can go through with this. You have to. Mr. Wright? What's the matter? Events took place as the defense theorizes. The outcome is obvious. That in that moment, assuming the man Eva Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Nero Marshall, Edward also struggling to say it. We're gonna go back to her and there's a look of horror. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! There she goes. She passed out again, didn't she? I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. Bro, I need a break. I need a break in food. Yes? What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances. Really? What? Jarkey. Joe Darkey murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Ema? How dare you try to pin this crime on her? She is so emotional. She cares so much. Sorry, I turned around and I just see my cat sitting on the radiator. He's adorable. Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out what Ema did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't think she moved the body. I don't think she did it. I mean, I think she forged evidence, don't get me wrong, but I don't think she moved the body. Legitimately, I don't think she has any idea about this. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're gonna have to have proof. Or maybe she did do it. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Nell Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. No, I have evidence. Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. She's right. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. It's all been wild goose chase from the beginning. Not very. Edgeworth, go on. Touché, Miss Skye. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another. That's impossible. No, it's happened before. In this courtroom, it's happened before. With this judge, with these two attorneys, it's happened before. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left for you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? Supposedly. Gotta think back to the court record. The real murderer's name is that the victim may have left behind is in the evidence. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Calm down. I also don't want to prove your sister is a murderer. However, do not be mistaken, Miss Skye. Our purpose is not to accuse Ima of any crime. There's only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased. It's always this damn jar. It's always this damn jar. The message left by the deceased. This is the Blue Badger from before, right? Oh, is he just going to speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. The message left on here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you see a faint trail of blood on this. You can. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there's a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is that these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used a few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away, but the blood must have seeped into the jar when the line changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. No. Damn, I didn't realize that Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney was Destroy a Family Simulator. Jesus. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe the bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. Can I connect these dots to make letters? There's only one thing the victim would have written, given the circumstances. His murderer's name. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all, my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Ima. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Ima Skye. The jury was silent. Bye-bye, Gatsby. See, Worthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Grant, do you understand the implications of what you've done? She was 14. She's 16 now, but she was 14 at the time of the crime. And also the reason she did it can also be seen as fair reasons. I'm trying to think. It'd be manslaughter because it wouldn't be self-defense. But not a whole lot would happen. What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Darkey was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. Pause. But Joe Darkey really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. That is true. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence for it, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on in the prosecutor's office? They may have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order, 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 order! The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. Wow, okay, that was so much. Holy. Okay, so that's crazy, honestly. I was not expecting that at all. Like, I have been insanely curious since the SL9 incident first got brought up, what happened, and the names kept coming up, and I was just like, okay, so this is fun. I wasn't expecting that, honestly. Bro, I'm so insanely curious to see how this trial ends. However, I need to take a break because my throat hurts, and I also need to eat breakfast at 12:38 p.m. Don't ask. That is all I have for you in this video. However, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, the next 2 parts of this trial, because there are 2 parts left, again, I have a walkthrough in front of me, will also be uploaded today. Since this is about an hour long, this was uploaded at 12 a.m. The next part dropped at 1 a.m. and the one after that will drop at 2 a.m. unless somehow that last part ends up being closer to an hour and a half, of which then it will be dropped at 2:30. That is how my uploading works. But what that pretty much means is all of the parts are out at the time that you're watching this, maybe, unless you're insane and are watching this at 12. Although, it's gonna drop in like 7 minutes if you got this as soon as it came out, or it might already be out. So, go ahead and watch the next part if you would so like. If you don't want to dig through my channel, even though, again, they will just be right there. There is also the playlist that you can click on and watch everything, all in order. Until next time, I will see you all. I have been your host, Ezra. Goodbye.